Over the last 10 days or so, Tennessee's quarterback room has become widely talked about and widely scrutinized. This came after Nico decided to leave the team due to financial stuff, as originally he was supposed to have that $8 or $9 million deal coming out of high school, and ultimately I guess wanted more. Some are saying that the amount of money he wanted and the percentage of money he wanted is actually on par with the NFL, but again, who cares? Most schools don't want to pay a quarterback that much, and if it is going to cause a lot of problems, then definitely they're not going to want it. Josh Heupel sort of shocked the world by sending Nico to the door, but all of a sudden Tennessee's in a terrible spot. They don't really have many options on the team, as they have two scholarship quarterbacks in Jake Merklinger, a redshirt freshman, and then true freshman George McIntyre. Sure, both of these guys are 4-star recruits, but I don't know if they're ready right away. Some think they should go at Jake Merklinger, and I guess some people in Tennessee, including a third party, thought they should go with Josh Hoover. I find it funny. I made a video last Sunday about hypothetical transfers that could go to Tennessee, and Josh Hoover was actually one of the guys I had on the list. I had no idea that would come to actual fruition, but I guess Tennessee tried to land him, and what's interesting is Josh Hoover said no. In today's video, we're going to talk about the superstar quarterback who ended up saying no to Tennessee, talk about how this affects the Tennessee quarterback room, and just my thoughts on the situation. I quickly wanted to cover it, but before we get started, if you're a big fan of college football, be sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like if you want to support today's video, and let me know what player, team, topic, or situation I can cover next. So yeah, Nico ended up leaving the team high and dry, and Tennessee is not left with many options. Josh Heupel runs a veer and shoot style of offense, which was popularized at Baylor in the mid-2010s, and works best with quarterbacks who possess a big arm for downfield throws and has some athleticism. Because of the wide splits, the receivers line up and the space creates a lot of running lanes, which is very user-friendly for quarterbacks and honestly is a lot of fun to watch. Heupel made it clear that Tennessee would be shopping for a quarterback in this year's portal because of the inexperience there, and there were sort of two names that came up this past week. The first was Avery Johnson, as some believed that they would be able to lure the Kansas State quarterback out of the portal, but to me this made no sense. Avery definitely reminds me more of Colin Klein than Hendon Hooker, so why he would go there, I don't know. It felt like that would be for money, or maybe trying to learn that system, I have no clue, but after originally being reported he entered the portal, Johnson decided to stay put, and I know he played just a couple hours away from Manhattan, so he definitely has some loyalty there, and I saw no reason for him to leave. So that one's done. But apparently, they offered Josh Hoover roughly $1 million more than he currently has at TCU to come over to Nashville. This was obviously by way of a third party, and Josh Hoover quickly turned down this offer, as according to the Fort Worth Telegram, they were going to offer him more than $1 million in excess of his current NIL deal with the Horned Frogs, which is in 6 figures. What's also very interesting is that I never thought Josh Hoover would be in this spot. Coming out of Rockwall High School, Josh Hoover put up really good numbers while he was there, but nobody really honestly cared. He ended up having nearly 10,000 yards and 108 touchdowns during his career there, but was only listed as a 3-star. I'm an Indiana football fan, so I remember when Josh Hoover was actually committed to the Hoosiers, but he would later flip to TCU before signing day. Hoover did nothing in 2022 as a backup, and then would take over at the end of 2023, passing for 2,200 yards and 15 touchdowns. What's funny though, is literally nobody talks about this guy still, even though he had one of the best seasons in TCU football history. He ended up throwing for just under 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, with a 66.5% completion percentage, and he won over 9 games. Hoover brought back TCU football, and honestly, I think is better than Max Duggan, but gets absolutely no credit. He was top 20 in passing yards, yards per attempt, completion percentage, and touchdown passes, and that's exactly why Josh Heupel and Tennessee wanted this guy. According to The Athletic, Hoover is absolutely totally locked in with TCU, and despite getting interest from Tennessee, he's staying put. This leads me to give my thoughts on the situation, as I think this is all ridiculous. While this technically won't be considered tampering because Tennessee didn't do it and it was a third party, this stuff absolutely has to stop. Honestly, there is no reason why these players should not be locked in, and I personally don't even think the spring portal window even needs to exist. Make your decision, stick with your commitment, and push through the consequences. If you decide to go to a school in January and things flame out in April, then it likely means you didn't make the best decision. Also, on the other hand, I think this just encourages tampering, as there are teams literally trying to cancel spring games because of all this stuff, and that also has to stop. Established teams should not be going to other established teams trying to lure their players away with more money, and things are just getting out of hand and getting so far away from what they were supposed to be. Either way though, good on Josh Hoover for saying no to Tennessee, And after enough decisions like this, we're hopefully going to see the tides reverse and college football start to go back to how it used to be. Probably won't get all the way there, but this is the start. Yeah, I wanted to quickly talk about this situation, give my thoughts on the matter, and what do you guys think? Who the heck is Tennessee going to get this year for their quarterback? Or what do you think needs to be done to stop tampering and all the transfer stuff? And what topics should I cover next? Be sure to let me know down below, leave a like if you want to support today's video, subscribe if you're new, and check out one of the videos on the end screen. Hope to see you guys again soon, but until next time, peace.